Back again with another video. Let me just say shout out to Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie, I think I'm saying it right, for being the brains. You know what? I love a man that focuses and takes his time to create stuff, all the risk and everything that happens with it. What I'm really trying to say is these days, I remember I was watching this podcast that said these days it's so easy to be great because people are so lazy. And not only are people lazy, everyone's just following what other people are doing and doing that. No one's as creative anymore. But also, if you are, you still set yourself apart from the people that are actually lazy, doing the same shit that's not working for them, but still continuing to do just that. That being said, I just wanted to tell a story. And the story is of how people people stress themselves out because whatever you tell your brain, you're gonna believe it. You know what I mean? Whatever you tell yourself. If I tell myself that I'm not smart, I'm not gonna be smart. I never say that because I know I'm a genius. I know that I'm very pretty. You know what I mean? When you do these things and you take care of yourself, you feel so good. Some people would complain about their job every day, and then you're still going to that job and it just doesn't make any sense. You have two choices. You can stop complaining and be like, I love my job. You go, you speak to people, maybe you read a book, and then you go to work and you tell people about it. You talk to your boss. You know what I mean? Instead of being a miserable fuck. You know what I'm saying? You can change your mindset and go to work and like the job. Or you could quit. And you can find something that you can do where you're not gonna just keep complaining. Make yourself happy. Happiness is not where you go. Me, I say I want to travel the world because I like people watching. I like seeing different people because it fascinates me. So really that's why I want to go different places, to wherever it is. I've seen a lot of different people because I live in Canada, but it's good to go in a different place and feel a different vibe. However, because I have such a great imagination, you can read a book and go on a vacation. You know what I mean? That's the power of the mind. Literally. I've met so many different people and I've done so many things because of my mind. Happiness is here. Your mind and your body. If you take care of yourself, you're going to be, you're going to be happy. That's all you need to do. Some of the most interesting things have happened. I remember reading the book Things Fall Apart, which I think I may have told this story already on here. But I read that book when I was 17, and 7 years later or so, I ended up dating an Igbo man. And really getting to put my imagination into play, because it's when you read about someone, I don't know if I'm making sense to myself, but it's reading that story. I remember in the end when Okonkwo killed himself, and I cried because the story was just so touching. And I was 16 going on 17, I think, when I read that book. And even after that, I tried to read the book again. I didn't try to read it. I was on YouTube trying to find someone to tell the story, but it wasn't as good. But then I ended up reading the book again, The Things Fall Apart, in 2021. Loved it. Since then, I read so many books by African authors, and there you go, a taste of Africa. Have I been? No. But people, sometimes when I speak to Nigerians and stuff, they'd be like, are you Nigerian? How do you know so much things? Well, there are lots of Nigerians in Canada, and I've read a lot of Chinua Achebe books. So, but all in all, I feel like it's so easy to lose yourself these days, in a sense where you might scroll, laugh, 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 but maybe you can also be a light. Instead of being miserable, be the person that puts a smile on someone else's face. Feed your mind good things. Tell yourself that you're beautiful and love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, no one else is going to love you. And you can't really show other people love. Is it Viola Davis that said this? Someone said, stare into the mirror until you like what you see. Actually, not until you like, until you love what you see. Because that's all you have. So you just kind of have to accept it. And always put yourself first. Make time to do the things that you love to do. Make time to go for a walk and take in fresh air. Make time to read a chapter every night. 24 hours in a day. You should be able to find some time to dedicate to yourself. And trust me, I know people like to say, oh, I don't like to read. I prefer listen to a podcast. That's the worst thing you could say. The worst thing you could say. Don't tell yourself that. Tell yourself you love to read, please. I don't understand. I shared this story already where once upon a time it used to be hard for me to read so much different papers for school. And then I found a way to read 5 minutes, and then it turned to 15, and then it turned to an hour. Maybe not an hour after 15, but you get the point. It's very important for your mind to read things. But mainly I think it's very important to use your imagination. I could literally sit here and imagine me dying in a plane crash. I could sit here and imagine me living such a beautiful life. There are things that people once thought were impossible, made it possible because they wanted it to be possible. They believed in themselves. They had an imagination. The number one thing, keyword here, imagination. That works from you reading, I'd say, number one. Two, just thinking about things. I don't think I'd be able to think the things that I do if I didn't read. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't say that I could simply because I do read. I read literally every day. There's not a day that I don't think it's normal for if a day passes where you don't read anything. I don't know. I just think it's important, and I think everybody does, even though it's a text or anything. But what I'm trying to say is read something that fascinates you. Maybe it's a book you always wanted to read as a child growing up, but you just could never find the time to do it because your brothers and sisters or your mom and dad were always just fucking bothering you to go do something, some manual labor. Now you can find time to do it. You'll feel so good about yourself. Just try it. Reading a chapter a day and going for a run at least once a week. Your mind will thank you, and so will your body. I almost fucked up that part. Before you know it, it'll just become a habit, because there's a saying that brilliance is a habit and not you're not born with it, because it's true. So you're welcome. It's just me trying to show my nails anyways. When you take care of yourself and you experience things in life, whether it be by reading a book, you could read a book and you visited India if the book is about someone in India. You get what I'm trying to say? Do the right thing, okay? Live a good life. You'll just be so much happier.